So you got to wonder then, is the Bush family next? None of them are going to be in attendance at the big convention, and all have expressed serious reservations about Donald Trump. In fact, none of them really plan on voting for him. Then there's Dan Quayle, who, when I caught up with him on Fox Business earlier today, said he's open to it. So I asked him, what about your old boss?
No, I did not. You know, I've got great love and affection for the entire family, particularly 41. And I'll be talking to them all, I'm sure, relatively soon. But look, Donald Trump is going to be the nominee of the Republican Party. I've been a Republican all my life. I was a Republican vice president. So, of course, I'm going to support the nominee of our party. And I think others will begin to, you know, step up and support him as well. Look, some may not at the very end. I can understand that. But Donald Trump's bringing in a lot of independents. He's bringing in a lot of Democrats. Go back to the Reagan philosophy of a big tent. Hey, you know, bigger is better in politics. More votes, the better you are. He's increasing the size of the Republican Party, not decreasing it.
Still, when you hear the entire Bush family, it seems, is going to skip out on the convention. Mitt Romney, as recently as yesterday, was now raising questions about Donald Trump's reluctance to release his taxes, that he can't support the nominee. Lindsey Graham also skipping out of the convention, can't support the nominee. Are Republicans going to have to just live with the fact there are going to be some, and they're in the minority, to your point, who are just not going to get into Donald Trump and just will not support him?
Well, you know, we got a long way to go to the convention.
Well, you think there's any way any of the people I mentioned will suddenly like with him?
I have to wait and see. Going to the convention is not that big a deal. A lot of times people don't go to the convention. I haven't been to the convention for several years.
Well, but what about support, though, Mr. Vice President?
Support. Now, that's a different thing on support. Look, I hope over the time period of this election that people will change their mind and come around to supporting him. And you're going to see a different person out there, because the nominating process is one thing. Now you've got a general election. It's not the 16 candidates that he was victorious over, and he did win that primary one by one. He's a winner. Donald Trump knows how to win. Now it's going to be Donald Trump against, I presume, Hillary Clinton, although, Neil, watch that California primary.
No, you're right.
If that California primary goes...
It's not a closed deal yet, but some of these who have raised their objections to Mr. Trump seem to raise it on issues of character, how he comports himself. That's kind of where Mitt Romney's coming from. Do you, Mr. Vice President, despite your support, have those same reservations, those same concerns?
Look, I'm looking for a candidate in the general election, and Donald Trump is going to now run a general election campaign, and it will be different than a primary. He figured out how to win the primary, and he did it without an open convention. You and everybody else were predicting we're going to have this open convention, and guess what? It's over. He's the presumptive nominee. So everyone's been wrong about Donald Trump. He knows how to win. Now he's looking at the general election. He's looking at Hillary Clinton, I assume, or Bernie Sanders, and he's trying to figure out how to win that election. Don't count him out.
All right. The question going forward is his pivots. Now, he says they need more explanation, but he's not changing his mind. For example, on whether he'll tax the upper income or not now, he just says that he is not doing any reversals here, just further explaining, fine-tuning his plans. Do those fine-tunings, those pivots, whatever you want to call it, concern you? Because some of your conservative colleagues have said they don't know where he stands.
Well, Donald Trump has said over and over again, I'm a negotiator, I'm a deal maker, I get deals. Here's my first shot at it. And he put out a very comprehensive tax cut plan, very pro-growth. Cut tax rates for everyone, especially on the business side as well. And he's getting questions about it, and he says, look, that's my going-in position. Now, we'll see where we come out. He knows he has to negotiate. He's in Washington today, and he's just starting to get a feel for Washington as the presumptive nominee. And Congress, having been in both the House and the Senate, they like to be stroked. They like to shake your hand. They want to get to know you. And the more they get to know him and the more they accept that he's the nominee, the better off we'll be.
Well, were you surprised, though, that after the meeting, and maybe a chance to clear the air, But Paul Ryan still wasn't indicating he would support him.
Well, the way I read it, he's clearly moving in that direction.
Yeah, but he might be, but he didn't say that.
He's clearly moving in that direction.
So when we get to the convention? But what if we get to the convention and he hasn't done that?
Well, I think it'll happen before the convention.
Okay.
I think it'll happen before the convention. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't happen before the convention. And it was a very conciliatory meeting from what I looked at, or from what I gathered from it. But he'll be on board. Look, Paul Ryan's caucus is for Donald Trump, and it'll be overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. There may be a few people that will be opposed to him, but overall they're for him. And so for the Speaker of the House to distance himself and not be supportive of Donald Trump. Look, I think Paul Ryan was surprised how quickly this ended, and so were a lot of people. And now he's taken a deep breath. He's got a lot of ideas. He didn't really want to have this ball in his court at this particular time. He thought he was going to have it at the convention, and he would be working up to the convention. Well, it happened sooner than anybody anticipated, so everybody's going to have to deal with it. And in due time, almost all of us we'll be together. We're going to support our nominee as we should.
All right. Do you see what's going on here? It is fascinating, my friends. I mean, that is Dan Quayle, who's the vice president of George Bush Sr. His old boss is not signing up for Donald Trump. And then you've got Paul Ryan, his old boss, technically the guy at the top of the ticket last go-around, Mitt Romney, not remotely signing up for Donald Trump. But both are making moves now to indicate they will be with Donald Trump. It's fascinating.